Have you ever wondered why some people seem to grasp new concepts faster than others? This question teases at the heart of the enigma that is learning, a process as unique as the individuals partaking in it. Let's dive into the science behind this fascinating phenomenon. At the center of it all is the brain, a complex organic computer teeming with billions of neurons. These neurons communicate with each other through connections called synapses, and the strength of these connections is constantly changing in response to new experiences, a process known as synaptic plasticity. Now, imagine your brain as a bustling city, with neurons as buildings and synapses as roads. Just as city roads can be widened, rerouted, or closed down based on traffic patterns, the connections between neurons in your brain can strengthen, reconfigure, or weaken based on your experiences. This constant remodeling of neural connections is the essence of learning. However, just as no two cities are the same, no two brains are identical either. Each of us has a unique neural architecture sculpted by our genes, our experiences, and our interactions with the world. This uniqueness manifests in different learning styles and speeds. Some people might be rapid learners, quickly building and strengthening neural connections, akin to a city rapidly expanding its infrastructure. Others might be more deliberate learners, taking time to reinforce and consolidate their neural pathways, much like a city carefully planning and executing its development. Understanding this can help us approach learning with more patience and empathy, both for ourselves and for others. It's essential to remember that there's no right or wrong way to learn, just as there's no right or wrong way to build a city. Everyone's brain is navigating its own unique path through the vast landscape of knowledge. So, the next time you're struggling with a new concept, remember, your brain is just taking its own unique path to understanding. Curiosity didn't kill the cat, it made the cat smarter. But how exactly does curiosity affect our learning? Let's delve into the fascinating world of neuroscience to find out. Imagine you're walking in a forest and you spot a peculiar plant you've never seen before. Your brain instantly lights up with questions. What is it? Is it poisonous? Can it be eaten? This is curiosity in action, a fundamental human trait that drives us to explore and learn. Neurologically speaking, when we're curious, there's a surge of dopamine in our brains. Dopamine, often dubbed the feel-good neurotransmitter, is associated with feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. It's like a reward system for the brain, encouraging us to seek out new experiences and knowledge. But there's more to it than just feeling good. The rush of dopamine also plays a pivotal role in memory formation. When we're curious about something, our brains are primed to remember it. That's why we can recall the details of an intriguing novel we read years ago, but struggle to remember the contents of a dull textbook we studied last week. Curiosity and memory share an intimate relationship. The more curious we are about a subject, the more we remember about it. This is why teachers and educators often encourage students to ask questions, to spark their curiosity and make learning more memorable. But curiosity isn't just for the classroom. It's a lifelong skill that can help us learn new things at any age. Whether you're picking up a new hobby, learning a foreign language, or exploring a scientific concept, nurturing your curiosity can make the process more engaging and enjoyable. And the best part? Curiosity is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So, don't be afraid to ask questions, to explore the unknown, to dive headfirst into the sea of knowledge. Remember, every great discovery, every groundbreaking invention, every leap of human progress started with a simple question. I wonder. So never suppress your curiosity, for it is the fuel that drives learning. What if I told you that making mistakes is a crucial part of learning? Would you believe me? Well, let's dive into the science behind the art of mistakes. You see, in the learning process, errors aren't just permissible, they're essential. It's through these stumbles and fumbles that we begin to carve out our understanding of the world. Consider the concept of trial and error. It's as natural as breathing. As children, we learn to walk, to talk, to interact with the world around us through a series of attempts, missteps, and corrections. We try, we err, we adjust, and we try again. It's a cycle that's deeply ingrained in our human nature. Now let's translate that to the scientific realm. Think about the great inventors and innovators of our time. Thomas Edison, Marie Curie, Albert Einstein. Did they get everything right on the first try? Of course not. They made mistakes, lots of them, but each mistake was a lesson, a piece of the puzzle that led them to their groundbreaking discoveries. Mistakes also foster creativity. They force us to think outside the box, to approach problems from different angles. When our first, second, or even third solution doesn't work, we're pushed to brainstorm new ideas, to innovate, to adapt. It's through these failures that we often stumble upon the most unexpected and brilliant solutions. But let's not forget the impact of mistakes on our problem-solving skills. Each error we make requires us to analyze what went wrong, why it went wrong, and how we can fix it. This process sharpens our critical thinking abilities, making us more capable problem solvers in the long run. So, yes, making mistakes can be frustrating. It can feel like you're taking 2 steps back for every step forward. But keep in mind that each misstep is a chance to learn, to grow, to improve. Remember, every mistake is a step closer to a breakthrough. Embrace them. Ever wondered why we forget things? Is it always a bad thing? Let's dive into the fascinating world of the science behind forgetting. You see, forgetting isn't always a case of, oops, I lost that information. It's a natural process orchestrated by that extraordinarily complex organ, our brain. Our minds are not limitless vessels. They can't store every piece of information we come across. Imagine your brain as a bustling library. As new books come in, some old ones must be moved or even discarded to make room. Similarly, our brains constantly juggle information, retaining what's deemed essential and letting go of the rest. This process is crucial for our cognitive health and our ability to learn new things. Now you might be asking, but what determines which memories stay and which ones go? Well, it's all about relevance and repetition. Information that we use or revisit frequently, or that has a significant emotional impact, tends to stick around. Meanwhile, the bits and pieces of data we don't use frequently, like the color of a stranger's shirt we saw once, get the boot. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. Strategic forgetting can actually enhance learning. It may sound counterintuitive, but it's a proven concept. For example, when studying new material, purposely forgetting some aspects of it can help you focus on the most important parts. It's like trimming the fat off a piece of steak to savor the meaty goodness underneath. In essence, forgetting isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It's our brain's way of tidying up, decluttering, and optimizing our mental space. This process allows us to continue learning, growing, and adapting to new experiences and information. By understanding the science behind forgetting, we can be more forgiving of ourselves when we can't recall something. We can also learn to utilize this natural process to our advantage, improving our learning strategies and overall cognitive performance. So don't fret about forgetting. It's just your brain making space for new knowledge. Ever pulled an all-nighter before a big test? You might want to rethink that strategy. When it comes to learning, sleep is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. It plays a significant role in memory consolidation, a process that strengthens and stabilizes the neural connections that form our memories. When you sleep, your brain is busy sifting through the information you've learned during the day, deciding what to keep and what to discard. Imagine your brain as a library. Throughout your waking hours, it's like you're piling up books on a desk. Facts, figures, concepts, experiences. But it's during sleep that the true librarian of your brain comes out. It's when your brain sorts through those piles, deciding which books to put on the shelves for long-term storage and which ones to return to the Dropbox. Now, what happens when you skimp on sleep? Well, imagine trying to cram for a test in a library where the books are strewn all over the place, with no one to sort them out. It's a mess, right? That's precisely what happens in your brain. Without enough sleep, your brain struggles to process and retain information. It becomes harder to focus, to understand new concepts, to remember details. In short, lack of sleep can hinder your learning and memory retention. Moreover, sleep deprivation doesn't just affect your cognitive functions, it also impacts your mood, making you more prone to stress and anxiety. And let's face it, it's a lot harder to learn when you're feeling stressed out or anxious. So, next time you're tempted to skimp on sleep for studying, remember, your brain needs rest to learn effectively. Instead of pulling that all-nighter, try to get a good night's sleep. Your brain will thank you for it. It's not about how long you study, but how well you allow your brain to absorb and process the information. And a well-rested brain is a more effective learner. So next time you're tempted to skimp on sleep for studying, remember, your brain needs rest to learn effectively.